Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're tackling a big question that causes a lot of anxiety, especially for those approaching or in retirement. Will Medicare run out of money? You see headlines about it, you hear politicians discussing it, and it's easy to start worrying. So let's cut through the noise, look at the facts, and understand what's really going on. I promise, by the end of this video, you'll feel a lot more informed and a lot less stressed. First, let's get the most important thing out of the way. No, Medicare is not going to just disappear and leave you without coverage. That's the headline fear, but it's not the reality. The system is not projected to go completely broke. However, the way it's currently funded does face some challenges down the road, and that's what the reports and news articles are actually talking about. To understand this, we need to quickly break down how Medicare is funded. Medicare is funded primarily through two trust funds. Think of these like two big savings accounts for different parts of the program. The first is the Hospital Insurance Trust Fund, which pays for Medicare Part A. That's your hospital stays, skilled nursing facility care, hospice and home health care. This fund gets its money mainly from payroll taxes. That's the FICA tax you see taken out of your paycheck. Both you and your employer contribute. The second fund is the Supplementary Medical Insurance Trust Fund. This one covers Medicare Part B, which is for doctor visits and outpatient care, and Part D, which is for prescription drugs. This fund is financed differently. It gets money from premiums that people on Medicare pay, and also from the federal government's general revenue, basically general tax dollars. So, when you hear that Medicare is running out of money, the reports are almost always talking specifically about the Hospital Insurance Trust Fund for Part A. Why? Because the money going into it from payroll taxes is projected to be less than the money going out to pay for hospital care. This is happening for a few reasons. First, we have the huge baby boomer generation moving into their retirement years, which means more people are drawing benefits from Medicare. At the same time, birth rates have been lower, so there are fewer workers paying into the system for each person receiving benefits. Plus, healthcare costs in general keep rising. The latest Medicare trustees report projects that, if nothing changes, this Part A trust fund will only be able to pay 100% of its bills until the early 2030s. Now, this is the part that sounds scary, but it's crucial to understand what happens after that date. It doesn't mean the fund drops to zero. It means the fund would only have enough money coming in from ongoing payroll taxes to cover a large portion of the costs, somewhere around 90%. So even in the worst-case scenario with no changes, Medicare Part A could still pay the vast majority of its bills. It wouldn't just vanish. But here's the most important point. Congress has never let this happen, and it's highly unlikely they ever will. This isn't the first time Medicare has faced a funding shortfall. Over the past 50 years, Congress has stepped in and made adjustments every single time the trust funds were projected to run low. They have a lot of tools they can use to shore up the system. Think of it like maintaining a house. You don't wait for the roof to collapse before you fix a leak. Lawmakers see these projections years in advance. So, what are some of the solutions they could use? Well, they have a whole menu of options. They could modestly increase the Medicare payroll tax. Even a small adjustment could make a big difference over time. Another option is to raise the eligibility age for Medicare, say from 65 to 67, similar to what was done with Social Security. They could also adjust how Medicare pays hospitals and providers, encouraging more efficiency to lower costs. Or they could change the benefits package, though that's usually less popular. Most likely, any fix would be a combination of a few of these smaller tweaks. The political will to act is always strongest when the deadline gets closer. Seniors are a powerful voting bloc, and no politician wants to be seen as the one who let Medicare falter. Now, what about Parts B and D? As we said, they're funded differently, through premiums and general government revenue. By design, they can't run out of money in the same way Part A can. Their funding is automatically adjusted each year to ensure they can cover their costs. Now, this doesn't mean they are without challenges. The rising cost of Part B and D is a real concern because it means higher premiums for seniors and a bigger draw on the federal budget, which affects all taxpayers. This is why you'll also hear debates about controlling drug prices and managing healthcare costs in general. It's all connected. So what does this all mean for you, whether you're 35, 55, or 75? First, take a deep breath. Medicare will be there for you when you need it. The program is a cornerstone of American society, and it has widespread public and political support. The conversation is not about if it will exist, but how we will fund it for future generations. For those already on Medicare, your benefits are not in immediate danger. For those planning for retirement, you can and should continue to plan on Medicare being your primary health insurance. What you can do is stay informed. Pay attention to the proposals being discussed and make your voice heard. Understand that small, gradual changes made now can prevent the need for bigger, more drastic ones later. It's also a great reminder of why personal health and financial planning are so important. While Medicare is a fantastic foundation, it doesn't cover everything. That's why things like Medigap plans, Medicare Advantage plans, and personal retirement savings are essential parts of a secure retirement. They fill the gaps that Medicare leaves behind. In summary, the headlines about Medicare going bankrupt are misleading and designed to grab your attention. The Part A trust fund faces a long-term funding challenge, not a short-term crisis. Congress has a history of acting to fix this, and they have many ways to do it. The system is not going to collapse. Your job is to stay informed, plan wisely for your own health and financial needs, and not let the scary headlines cause you unnecessary stress. I hope this cleared things up and brought some peace of mind. It's a complex topic, but understanding the basics makes all the difference. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more straightforward explanations on topics that matter to your financial future. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.